Hey lovelies, it's Heather. Gonna go ahead and shoot today's video. I'm kind of tired right now, but anyways, so today's video, basically, I'm just gonna talk about my thoughts. I've kind of been almost like more depressed the past 2 days, but then not really, and I kind of caught myself being like antsy, I guess you'd say, because it's like I got in that mindset of like that competitiveness of like wanting things that I just can't seem to manifest or fucking have and everything. And I've tried, and when you've tried your best, and so you're having to learn to have compassion for yourself. And so I just told myself, like I was sitting here and I was getting almost real bad depressed because I was getting like real anxious kind of because it's been building up for like about 2 days or 3 days. um just this, God, I need to do this now. Damn it, why can't I get this done now? You know, who can I call? Is there anybody I can call to get this done now, and everything, because ever since I was a little girl, and I used to sit and play Barbie dolls or baby dolls. I don't want to cry. Shit. I'm not gonna cry. I don't know. I might cry. Fuck, I don't want to. But ever since I was little, it was always like, I'm gonna grow up. I'm gonna get married, and I'm gonna have a family. Like that was like my biggest thing ahead of anything. Like even driving came secondhand to being a wife and a mother, and so did school, and just everything came below that. And I was like, that's my ultimate thing. And like, when I was little, before my first grandfather that passed away when I was 7, the one that I was real close to, he used to tell me that I could do anything. He was that one. Most people have somebody like that they meet in their life that tell them that they can do anything. And then I had actually a great aunt and uncle that kind of fed into that as well, and so did like a actual uncle and a few others that are basically all dead now that were like, yeah, you're going to grow up and you're going to do wonderful things. But for as far as like my actual family that I spent time with, that I seen regularly, they were just always so fucking hateful and mean, and you're not going to grow up to be shit, and you think you're going to do this, and you think you're going to do that, and just real fucking negative and hateful and shit. So, I always, used to kind of just be like, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to be a mother, I'm going to be a wife, And, I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, how poor are we? Like my family. Like my sister had a wedding, but she had it at a cabin. She set it up herself, and that's where they also honeymooned at. When I got married, me and my husband were supposed to have just a little intimate wedding, kind of like what my sister did a year into our marriage, but he didn't do that. And I didn't go to any of my proms. Haven't had a vehicle. I've had a kid that I've raised by myself, basically. Had a marriage that fell apart because the other half, and that's the thing too, is like I sit here and I can see it in other people. And that's even like, what is it? That one TV show I keep watching occasionally. Fuck, what's it called? Anyways, it's where they get married to each other without even meeting. I can't think of the name right now because I just keep thinking of the 90 Days one because I keep watching that. Keep watching a bunch of that shit. But anyways, and that's not what's depressing me. Like, if you're somebody that's like, oh, well, that's the reason you're depressed, it's because you're watching depressing shows. I was watching those for the past few weeks and I was fine. Oh my god, what the hell does that cat want? I've done fed him. Sorry, one of my cats is like picking at the door. Oh, it's getting cool outside. Okay. Well, he's got 2 beds to climb up in. He's just picky. He thinks both my cats think that they're like princes. But anyways, so, I didn't have a wedding. Didn't have nobody stay with me to help me raise my kid. My marriage fell apart. I was in it for the long haul. He wasn't, Like, he just wasn't. Like, technically, we're still married. He won't divorce me. And in all honesty, like, I'm just like, you're being a huge piece of shit, basically, for doing that to me. Because it's kept my name the same and all kinds of stuff and everything that could have been taken care of, and that he could have, and we don't have anything that we have to split or anything. He don't have to pay, it's just pay for the divorce. Dry cut, like, it is what it is. And then, like $30 or whatever for me to get my name changed back after the divorce. But life just hasn't been kind. And then concluding, my kids walked around with my maiden name, and I've walked around with my married name, and my kid, like, feeling left out, like people questioning if I'm her parent, and I have to be like, yes, even though our last names are different, and even though, yes, everybody's so nosy, and so, yes, I say I don't have a husband because technically I don't. But, it's like, I don't want to cry, I don't want to be depressed, but damn it, when your life is depressing, kinda, then what do you do with it? And how is it depressing? Some people might ask and everything. But when you're somebody that has always try and make everybody else happy kind of above you, and fuck what you need, and fuck what you want, and fuck what your dreams are, and then nobody even cares to ask what your dreams are because most of them are so narcissistic. They don't give a shit what you dreamed about. They don't give a shit what the fuck you wanted out of life. Like, it's like they don't even realize. Because I'm that replaceable. Fuck, I don't want to cry, but I might end up crying. I am that replaceable to them because I'm just like a casualty, like, I sit here and I think of the times that, like, I had my niece for like a week at my apartment, or the times that I babysat her when my sister needed me to. Even the time that my sister had a fucking, gallbladder attack and they had to rush her in to have her gallbladder removed, and I stayed with the baby. It's like, well, what would have happened? And that's the thing, is like, I'm replaceable. If I try to like guilt trip them like they have me and be like, well, what would you have done if I wouldn't have been there to help you? That's just like my dad. Last thing I did with him that was a big thing or whatever, that he didn't ask my sister to do it because my sister wouldn't have helped him. And he would have had to have went and found a neighbor, and everything. But I've made everything easy for them is what it is. And it's like the damn trampoline for the girls, for the kids, the grandkids, his grandkids, my daughter and my nieces, got stuck in the fucking trees whenever a storm came. And I went out there and I helped him get that damn trampoline out of the fucking trees. There is nothing inside of me that, was like, it's my dream to have a trampoline over at my parents' house for my kid to jump upon. More, in all honesty, it was my dream for my kid to have a trampoline at our house where we lived, or our apartment where we lived. I even talked to the landlord about it, but my dad had to run out and get one. And that's the thing, is like, my nieces had one where the fuck they lived, and they had, a sibling to play with, because I have 2 nieces. My daughter didn't have a sibling to play with, so why can't she have a trampoline at her house? But no, my sister can have one, and it's just always been unfair, is the best way to word it. And for as far as psychology and stuff like that, it's like, and assholes, basically, that just, they don't get it. They're like, well, it's your fault, it's your fault that you've let people step over you or use you and this and that. And it's like, okay, do you want me to become some heartless monster or asshole and be like, no, I ain't doing shit for you, motherfucker, unless you pay me? Sorry, you gotta pay me for the things that I do for you. Oh, I babysat my niece one day for 4 hours. You better pay me at least $40 damn dollars, Like, no. Like, I'm not gonna become that fucking person. And then the depression sets in, and it's like, I would rather kill myself than become that type of monster that is that self-absorbed. But it's like they don't even see anything as a sacrifice, because they're so self-absorbed and ignorant and blind. And they're still just wanting more and more and more and more. And they just keep taking. And then every time that I'm like, hey, you know what? You got your life straightened out now, Mom and Dad. Y'all got property. Y'all got a home. Y'all got 2 fucking vehicles and a damn motorcycle. Y'all got a good life. Okay, now my sister's got a good life. She's got her own place. She's had her own place for a while. She's had her own, she's had jobs for years before she even moved out, and she had all that money that she could do whatever she wanted to with it to a degree. And y'all bought her 1 car and she kept wrecking it. And so with the insurance money, you got her 3 more cars after she wrecked. Then she got another car and she paid for it, but you helped pay for her insurance. Like, okay, now she's on her own. She's got her shit straightened out. When is anybody going to help me to establish my life, And they sat there and they're like, well, you ain't done shit to help us establish our life, Heather. So Mom and Dad, I didn't wear hand-me-down clothes. And I didn't not come in every fucking day and bitch about it. Like, I don't remember coming in every day after school and being like, hey, I'm getting tired of being made fun of. I'm getting tired of having to wear shirts that say my sister's name across them. And when people are like, why you got a shirt on that says your sister's name across it, or this name across it, that's not your name. And instead I have to play it off like I'm oh so confident and be like, yeah, that's my big sister, man. Like, I'm just tired. I'm so tired. And then here it is. It's like Mother's Day is coming up. And my daughter's birthday is coming up. And it's all this month. And then so is a few others. And I just want my kid. And I don't want to miss her birthday at all. And I want her home. And then my family, if they heard me say that, they'd be like, well, where the fuck's home, Heather? Where the fuck's home? You don't have a home for your daughter because you're not working. And I would just be like, home is with me. I'm her mother, you dumbass. But anyway, so, like, back to when I was a little kid and stuff, like, I mean, you know. See, my sister, when she was a little kid, when she was growing up and everything, she's sitting there, oh, I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be an artist. You know, that was her dream. She's going to be this great artist. So then she gets into high school, she's dating this guy, and then she's like, oh, well, I'm gonna be a cosmetologist instead, because that's still a form of art, and I love it, and I can get into the college with this scholarship and do this and and blah 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 blah. And so she fucking did it. She fucking did it. My parents have done everything that they've wanted to do. When they got back together, when they got separated, when they got back together, they was like, oh, we're gonna get a new trailer. And so they did. And then my mom, oh, and I want a new car too, to her husband. And so he got her one. And then he keeps getting her one every fucking few years. And then it's like they wanted a kid, and that's another thing too that's so corrupt about them having my damn daughter, and everybody fucking knows it, is when they got back together when I was 15. When I was 15 and they got back together, they was wanting to have, my dad was wanting them to have another kid. That was his thing. It was like, oh, well, we'll get the trailer together for us as a couple, you know, to reward ourselves for making our marriage work, you know. And then my mom's like, but to reward me, I want a car. And then my dad's like, okay, well, to reward me, I want another kid. And my mom had been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and so her doctors told her that it was not good for her health at all for her to have another child. And so when I was 15, like literally like a few days before I turned 16, I met my kid's dad. I met my boyfriend, my long-term boyfriend. And after a year of me and him dating, I got pregnant. And then my mom even tried to like say to me, oh, you can go back to school after you have her. We can hide you away while you're pregnant, you know, like in the Lifetime movies and this and that. And you can go back and you can act like it's your little sister. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. And then even one time when my daughter was little and she was in the stroller and we were out at a park, they were like, oh, you can go walk by yourself. You deserve a break. And see, this is the thing. Every time with my family that I think they're actually going to be a family to me. Even like my grandmother moving in here and her being like, yeah, I'm going to let you live here at least for a little while, you know, or a year or two to kind of straighten out your own life. And yeah, you can have it. I'm going to go move in with my niece. Every time I fall for that shit. You know, that, hey, they actually care, you know, they're actually going to be nice to me. They're actually going to give me something that's good for me, that's going to benefit me. And so, here I am, I'm a single mom. My kid at the time, she was like 6 or 8 months old, or she might have even been older than that, like a year and a half old, I can't remember. We're out at this park. We've been there like 3 times in the past few months, and all the time, you know, I'm staying with her and everything, and this one time in particular, I'd actually pumped her a bottle, so she must have been 6 months old, because I didn't pump bottles after that. And they're like, oh, you can go off and, you know, be young. Go off and be young and be free and have fun at the park by yourself, and, you know, go mingle, and we'll take care of the baby for you. You know, and I'm like, are you sure? You know, and I'm like, you're not going to talk shit about me if I'll leave her with you for like an hour or two? I left her with them for like 30, 45 minutes because I knew something was up because the way my dad looked at me. I backtracked around that park and I went around and I come in the back way and I come up behind them. And when I come up behind them, like as I was coming up behind them, but I was still probably about 100 feet behind them, and it wasn't that busy that day, I heard them talking to this one set of people that was like, oh, your daughter's so beautiful, and they were just passing by, and they just said thank you, my parents did, talking about my daughter. And then they kept walking, then they bumped into somebody else, and then they stood talking to them, and they told them that that was their child. that they told them that my daughter was their child. And I just kind of slowly walked up behind them. And then I waited for those people to walk off. And then I was like, hey. And I just took the stroller and walked ahead of them. And my dad's like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you taking her back? We said you could go have fun for a little while. Why aren't you going and having fun for a little while? And I was like, because of what you just did. And he's like, well, what did we just do? And then I said it to my mom and my dad. I said it to both of them. I said, I just heard you tell them that that's your damn kid. And he said, oh, well, that's just them because they assumed and we didn't want to correct them and be rude. I said, okay, well, what about the other people that passed you by and said, oh, your daughter's so beautiful? And you said, thank you. I said, why didn't you correct them? I said, what are you going to do? Go around the whole damn park and everybody that you bump into be like, yeah, she's mine. I said, no, you're not doing that with my damn kid. I said, I'm not having it. I said, so I'll stay with her because I'm her mother and it's my responsibility. If I end up committing suicide, everybody's going to know why, because it's all here on YouTube. If I end up getting so low, it's all going to be here on YouTube. Why? Why I'm so depressed. Why I've been so depressed. Because nobody has gave a shit about my dreams. But back to when I was a little girl, and all that, I dreamed of having a marriage. I dreamed of having a home and a family that was me and my husband and my children. Not me, my husband, my children, my mom and dad and grandmother, all basically right there outside the next damn door over, knowing every detail of everything that goes on in our home. And but anyways, my sister, she wanted to go to art school. She ended up becoming a cosmetologist. She loves her job. Or did, or whatever. She has a job that she loves. It's not a job that she had to walk into all scared and be like, oh God, I don't think I want to do it, and then do it any fucking ways. Basically, what the hell I had to do. And I was just like, hell, it's a job, I'm making money, shit. Money's money. And like I said, my sister worked for many, many, many years before she ever moved out on her own. Now, her, just like me, she also had a failed marriage. She was married for 3 years, I think, and then they divorced. But other than that, she'd never lived out by herself. Me and her basically moved into our own places around the same damn time. And that's the thing, too, is like I was sitting here living with my grandmother. Okay, my parents aren't going to help me with getting a car and stuff because I told my dad, hey, I got a job and I'm going to get a car. And he's like, I'll get your fucking car towed off. So I'm like, okay, what's the next best thing for me and my daughter? Move out, have our own place. And my sister, started moving out around that same time too. Whenever I ping-ponged the idea the first time to my mom, then the next month my sister was moving out. And then my sister ended up moving out a few months before I ended up moving out and finding a place to go and live. It was just, I don't know. I'm so fucking frustrated right now. I literally kind of hate my family. I try not to, but holy shit. But anyways, so my sister's got this stable little ass life where she can run around with any boyfriend that she wants to at any point in time, and she's got her money, and she goes to concerts, and she goes and has a good life, and goes to her reunions and shit, and hanging out with people, and bars and clubs, and and all this and everything. She's got a life. I'm still here. I'm this piddly little ass thing that I've always fucking been because that's all they'll allow me to be, because every time I try to spread my wings and fly, they clip them. And that's what they did when they took my fucking daughter from me, and they damn well fucking knew it. They damn well fucking knew it. Can you imagine how enraged you would be to know that your parents keep just throwing you under the bus, pulling the rug out from underneath you, that they are the downfall to your fucking shit going wrong for you just trying to have a normal life. And then on top of that, and on top of all the shit, and all the, me being the scapegoated one, and the mental illness shit, and supposedly I'm supposed to be mentally ill, and then, my little, coincidences that I see where it's like, hey, that's the same last name as so-and-so over here. Hey, I remember this, hey that, and my mind just puts together these things. They're like, see, that proves that you're fucking insane. That proves that you're fucking crazy. That proves that, basically, in their minds, that I should have a piddly-ass life. Well, the only goddamn thing that I can say to that, in all fucking honesty, is even if I did have some type of way shot the fuck out mental health issue, if I do, but technically, I went and had I sat in the goddamn office and had the fucking test done on me. I talked to her for an hour, and then I talked to the other person for an hour, and then there was like another 30-minute session, and so I don't even know, it was like 2.5 hours altogether and everything, and they're like, no, the only thing that you have is you're depressed. But my family's trying to be like, no, she's crazy. We know she's crazy. Which they've always tried to do. Yet my dad can go into 2 counselors whenever they're getting separated, hear that he's bipolar, walk out, and everybody's like, oh, he's so sane and so sweet and so wonderful, and we just love him, and everybody just treats him like fucking, I don't know what, like he's, I don't know. God, I'm so irritated. I'm just in a bitchy-ass mood right now, I guess. God. I was getting sad because, it's a lot to take on. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of stress. But I'm mad, too, at the same time. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired. I have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, and even though it's not a fucking job, I have worked at my life trying to make something of it when nobody wants to help me make anything of it. I can tell you that I sit here and I look at my parents and I look at my sister, and I do not think to myself that I, wish that they weren't where they're at for as far as how well off they are. I don't sit there and be like, my fucking sister shouldn't, have all this great stuff that she has, and my parents shouldn't have all the great shit that they have. I don't do that. But I do sit there and think, God, do y'all realize that I've done anything for you? Do you see me as have all the conversations, even, all the times that I've listened to every single one of them bitch about their shit, and I've just sat there and took it like a goddamn soldier, and just in one ear and out the other to a degree, but also taking it into account and being the scapegoated one and being like, what can I do to maybe make things better for them? Oh, my sister's bitching about how she gets tired of, having to let them babysit all the time, and they're bitching at her for it. So you know what? Hey, this week I ain't doing nothing. How about you drop my niece off and she can spend the night over here, and she can do, fuck. Even my goddamn dad, when my mom was in the fucking hospital, about this fucking cat that they abandoned that I have now. That I have. If I give you your fucking cat back, will you give me my daughter back? And then they went and got another cat. And I'm supposed to be the one that doesn't make any sense? I don't know. But I gotta end this video here. I hope everybody's doing good. keep putting your best foot forward. I don't know. Just give everything all that you got. I don't even but be compassionate with yourself. That's one thing that I'm just having to do all the fucking time, and I'm having to remind myself to have patience with myself. And that it's everybody else that I need to stop having patience with. Because I've had patience for my mom and my dad and my sister and even my grandmother, and I'm just tired of it. You know, I'm so fucking tired of it. It's like, no. It's time they have patience, you know, for me or whatever, and they show compassion towards me. Like, I just can't. And I need to show it towards myself instead of trying to show it towards them. But I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody else is doing good. You know, keep putting your best foot forward, and I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye.